This is a holocron lighting module. When you get it, it will have two more wires coming out of it. A short ribbon cable leading to the external micro USB connector, and a short sense cable which plugs into the capacitance sensor plate that you will install in your holocron. In any case, this module here has a second USB port to be used as a USB host for a small enough thumb drive. So whatever thumb drive will fit into here and fit inside the holocron will then show up on the external USB connector. Here is where the lithium polymer battery connects. That also will charge automatically when it sees an external USB connection. For those that are specialists, you may recognize the UCSB IP connector, which allows you to program the Arduino compatible chip here. It's an AT9085, so you will need the most recent version of the host software, the Arduino IDE, or the appropriate modification. In any case, the purpose of this video is to explain how to use these three buttons to slightly modify the behavior of the lighting module. Unfortunately, that software was not placed into the boards until version 1.2 of the circuit board. Version 1.2 you can recognize by this notch here, this second notch. If your board doesn't have a notch, it won't be completely compatible with these instructions. I'm sorry about that. So, let's put the lithium polymer battery in here and observe normal behavior. It is pre-programmed to go through this pulse animation, and superimposed on it is a color shift. To access programming mode, press the lowest or select button. That will cause one or more of these LEDs to blink pink at intervals. Each of those corresponds to one of the four parameters that you can adjust slightly. So I'm going to set us to be adjusting the first and most useful, which is the sensitivity of the capacitance sensor. The other two buttons are the increment and decrement, which change the value, the pre-programmed value. So I am dialing the sensitivity, I'm dialing the value down, thus the capacitance sensitivity should go much higher. At some point it's simply going to go off in my hand and go into the programmed talk animation. I've taken that too far. Oops. Playing with capacitance sensor is kind of annoying, and I really don't recommend you do it unless your holocron is not behaving. If you change the way the capacitance sensor is set up, or you have, like I do, very low body capacitance, you may need to manipulate it until the capacitance. There we go, there's the talk animation. I'm going to see if I can lower this value even more. Each press of the button is reducing the internal value by which the sensor is compared to. So now it is so sensitive, it is going off just by me being this near to it. Not very useful. Also why I recommend you don't play with it. And you can't program in this mode. However, you are changing 4 variables in RAM by doing this. They will not actually be committed to long-term memory unless you program them in. So all I have to do is turn off the holocron and it will revert to factory state. I can do this by pulling the cord, or I could do this by flipping the holocron over, because there's a tilt switch and that cuts all the power. So when I restore, the behavior is normal. Now I'm going to jump through the other two program functions. We can change the rate here. So I'm going to speed up the rate quite a bit, as it turns out. Let's try turning that down a little. Okay, we're speeding up the rate. Now the pulses are happening much quicker together. And this is a problem, since there's very little in the way of dummy check in the software. If you take a value out of rounds, it may kick over and start again from 1 or from 0 or from 256, or it may cause some very odd behavior. Some of that behavior might be interesting, so I've left that in. In any case, here it is. Now we're blinking a lot faster. So let's say we want to save that. What we do is hold down the select button and watch for the 2 green flashes. Now, even after I reboot the circuit, that new behavior is programmed in. It is now being loaded off of the PRAM, so it will sustain for forever. Well, for as long as the chip works. As long as we're playing with this, yes, might be wise to turn down the sensitivity a little, but in any case. The third thing that we can change is the depth of effect, which is essentially the difference from an arbitrary midpoint to the brightest it goes and the least bright it gets. So we're kind of smoothing out the effect until it's just barely dipping at all. So now you can barely see that it's dipping. It's pretty much staying at one level. The last thing that we can adjust is the overall brightness. So I'm now in that mode, and I'm taking down the overall brightness. And since it's hard to see with that regular blink, I'm going to program that in. As you see, now it's fluctuating very little and very dimly, and also very quickly, since we put all of that in. Now this may not be what we want. Obviously we could try to get back to some behavior that we preferred, or we can restore to factory state, again, by taking that select button, but this time you want to boot up while holding the select button in. So I'm going to hold the select button in here, again, turn it over, which cuts power because of the tilt switch, and it powers up. It has, let us click back through, returned to normal behavior. It has reset all of the factory values. So that, in short, is programming the holo. Unfortunately, that's all you can do. It's not as flexible as I would like, and certainly not as foolproof as I would like, but it at least gives you the valid ability to adjust the capacitance sensor if your particular build is having problems with that. Thank you.